The time is 4:30. This is WKYT This Morning. The search is over for a missing Danville woman. Kentucky State Police have identified a body in Lincoln County that is that woman. We'll have the latest details this morning.
Plus, Lexington police say they are still searching for clues in the shooting death of a teenager. Details on the investigation coming up.
And the Lexington Fire Department took over Masterson Station Park for a day of fun and safety. We'll have that and your Kentucky forecast for this new week ahead on WKYT This Morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning to you, and we are off and rolling in October and a brand new weekend, the first week of Keeneland starting Friday. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Andrea Walker. Isn't that exciting?
Yeah, it is.
Everything is new and fresh, and guess what? The weather's going to be awesome.
It's going to cooperate nicely.
Yes.
I saw a poster in our newsroom, about Keeneland this week, and it's all the fall colors and all of that. So we're getting ready to enjoy that. Let's check in with meteorologist Micah Harris. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. And as of right now, it looks like things will hold off for Keeneland on Friday, but maybe not off into your weekend. I'm going to show you that in your 7-day coming up. It's 58 degrees right now in Frankfort. Go off toward Moorhead, London, Lexington. We're there in the mid to upper 50s. And we travel in towards your afternoon. Pretty nice fall day. We're at 73 degrees. You won't get a lot of sunshine, but you'll get at least some peaks here and there. We're going to go over that. I'll show you when your next best chance of rain is, because it's going to be a while from now. And that means temperatures will slowly climb each and every single day. And I'll have that coming up.
Okay, let's get to the news. Proud and independent. That's how family and friends remember a missing Danville woman who was found dead over the weekend in Lincoln County.
Police confirmed the victim is Desiree Sparks. Police in Danville had been searching for Sparks for the past week. Caitlin Sittner is tracking the investigation.
It's tragic, and we hate that it turned out this way.
It's been a tough few days for many in Danville, and it didn't get any easier with Sunday's news.
An autopsy was performed, and the state medical examiner positively identified the female as Desiree Sparks, the missing female out of Danville.
Police had been searching for Desiree Sparks. They say the 22-year-old was last seen Tuesday afternoon with an unknown guy in a dark-colored SUV. Days later, a woman's body was found 1 county over. People riding four-wheelers during a charity event said the woman didn't have any clothes on and she had something tied around her neck. Sunday, the coroner confirmed it was Sparks.
This week is when friends of Desiree Sparks refer to as a nightmare.
I was able to talk with her boyfriend some Sunday afternoon, and he said Desiree didn't really have much of a sense of humor. But every time she tried to say something funny, it came out hilarious just because, she tried and it was so cute. He says she was hardworking and just a good influence. He went on to say she changed my perspective and my attitude toward how many great people there are in this world. Kentucky State Police is still looking for answers as to what happened to the 22-year-old. Her cause of death still has not been released. In Richmond, Caitlin Sittner, WKYT.
Sparks family has created a fundraising page to help cover funeral expenses. We put a link on our website, WKYT.com.
Lexington police say they are still searching for clues in the shooting death of a teenager. Police say Nathaniel McNeely of Louisville was shot and killed during a large party at a home on Unity Drive over the weekend. McNeely died at UK Hospital. His sister says Nathaniel was the one to comfort them in hard times.
He's wiped so many tears from my eyes, tears from my kids' eyes, and tears from my mother's eyes. And I never thought in a million years that I had to wipe my own tears from my eyes because I got to bury my brother, and my mother has to bury her son.
Police say they still do not have a description of a suspect, and they're asking anyone with any information to please come forward. Louisville police are investigating a double shooting. It happened at a home on Oregon Avenue that's off the Dixie Highway. Police think that the shooting situation is a murder-suicide. The victims were a man and a woman. Neighbors say the pair were dating and have a child together.
When officers arrived, they did find 2 people inside the home, believed to be a man and a woman, both deceased from gunshot wounds. Upon further investigations, found that this appears to be a murder-suicide. Again, we have 2 persons dead. They appear to have been boyfriend, girlfriend. They do have a child in common.
Police said a child was at the home during the time of the shooting. The child was not hurt.
A Clay County man accused of killing his parents will appear in court today. Police arrested Gregory Jackson in September following a 9-month investigation. Police say Jackson shot his father and stepmother at the couple's Clay County home last December. Investigators say after the shooting, Gregory Jackson removed shell casings and even broke a window to make it look like there had been a burglary. State police are investigating a deadly crash in Magoffin County. It happened on Kentucky 114 in the Salyersville community. Police say Ellis Rourke lost control of his truck and hit an embankment. His passenger, Leah Rourke Gross, was killed in the crash. Police do not think alcohol was a factor.
A Lexington family has some repairs to make on their house after a car crashed into it. That happened on Winthrop Drive off Nicholasville Road. The family living in the home were not there at the time and did not learn about the crash until a few hours later. Neighbors say 2 boys in their teens were in the car when it hit the house.
They were pretty shaken up. Like one kid, he was on the verge of crying. You know, I could tell they was young.
Police say no one was injured in the crash.
Crews worked for hours to put out a large fire in Mason County. According to the Maysville Ledger Independent, the fire started around 7:30 last night at the Standard Supply warehouse in downtown Maysville. They say both the building and some transformers caught fire. They are also reporting several power outages in the area of the fire. State police are investigating a fire in Perry County as well. It happened at a building that holds the post office and convenience store on Highway 451. KSP arson investigators are looking at surveillance video to figure out the cause of the fire. Officials say they don't suspect foul play and no one was injured.
The Lexington Fire Department took over Masterson Station Park for a day of fun and safety. The fire department held an annual fire prevention festival. Dozens of people flocked out to the park. Event organizers say this year's goal was to make the festival bigger and better, and they pulled it off. One woman tells us the event was something that she wanted her kids to see and do.
I thought it was just awesome, something that our kids could see and understand what these people are out here actually fighting for and doing for us, because right now the world is a scary place and our kids need to understand that people are out there helping.
The festival had fire truck rides, safety demonstrations, and free health screenings as well.
We have a traffic alert to pass along this morning. Part of New Circle Road will be closed today for storm drain repair. The right lane and turn lane will be closed on the outer loop between Family Circle Drive and Trade Center Drive. The road will be closed from 8:30 this morning until 3:30 this afternoon.
Well, WKYT this morning on your Monday just getting started, and it's so good to have you with us. We're rolling into this new month of October now.
Still to come, Ford is taking a billion-dollar gamble in hopes of making Louisville's economy stronger. Details straight ahead on WKYT this morning.
And that upper level low slowly but surely getting on out of here and trying to travel off toward the eastern seaboard. What does that mean for us? Obviously, it's going to be a little bit warmer. Let me show you those numbers coming up next.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Looking a pretty good start to your work week. This is the first full week of October. It actually looks like a pretty nice first full week, unless you're wanting rain. The rain's just not in the forecast right now, not especially this work week. Maybe toward the weekend. We'll see how that turns out as a front will be close to us. Defender radar network showing pretty dry conditions, and it looks like we're going to stay that way through much of your day. 57 degrees there in Moorhead. London coming in at 53. I'd say London, work your way down toward the mountainous regions. Heads up for some fog. You're going to be dealing with that over toward eastern Kentucky as well. This is going to be very patchy fog. Lexington looks good, and off toward Franklin County. Not seeing any problems whatsoever. Hour by hour forecast that'll take you through your day. Obviously, we're staying dry. For the most part, I can't say absolutely 100% dry. There's a possibility a couple of sprinkles down in far southeastern Kentucky. You get into the mountainous areas, I'd say south of Howard Rogers Parkway. That's your best bet. But other than that, we're looking pretty good. 73 degrees with a mixture of sun and clouds. Off towards your evening. Your evening looks fantastic if you have any plans going on. What we're going to be doing with today's talkers, we're going to be drying some things out. So what that means for us is obviously no real rain chance anytime soon. Number two, it allows those temperatures to rise each and every single day. So we're going to be seeing that right around 80 degrees tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday. Maybe off toward Friday, but I'd say tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday are your best bet to be roughly 80 degrees. Now, that's not extremely warm for this time of year, but still about 5 to about 8 degrees above average. Then we look towards your weekend. We got Keeneland kicking off on Friday. Friday, as of right now, I don't see much of a rain chance. On Saturday and Sunday, there's going to be a front over us, but you got to remember what's off toward the East Coast at that time. big old Hurricane Matthew, right? So what does that mean for us? Well, it looks like Matthew is going to grab most of that moisture, virtually all the moisture. It's going to say, well, I'm a little bit more powerful than that front that's over us, so I'm going to take all the moisture from what I can get. And that means we are going to be very limited with that front that's going to be moving over our region on the weekend. So I just put some small chances of rain there in the forecast, because it's really hard to get a front roll over us and not get rain out of it. So the chance of rain is still there, but obviously it's not a big chance of rain. When you have those big tropical systems right off the eastern seaboard, it's kind of hard to get some moisture over here because that takes all the moisture. So the rest of the work week looks pretty good, but guys, off towards your weekend with your first weekend at Keeneland. We're crossing our fingers hoping that we don't see any rain, but there is a small chance of rain in there as that front moves overhead. There's no doubt about it, though, with the cloud cover, with the cooler air sweeping on in, even if we don't see rain, we're still seeing temperatures there in the mid-60s. Might be a little bit chilly at times out of Keeneland. We'll see.
That's all right, though. It looks great this week, doesn't it?
Yes,
it does. A lot to look forward to.
That's all the colors changing. It's really nice. Thank you, Micah. 444 here in just a second. Here in Kentucky, Ford is taking an almost $1.5 billion gamble that going lighter will make it, Louisville's economy, and the economy over there stronger.
Gordon Boyd has more on Ford's proposed changes for its Super Duty pickup trucks.
72 bodies stamped, riveted every hour.
The toughest, the smartest, the most capable Super Duty ever produced.
All aluminum, on average 800 pounds.
Are lighter, more powerful, and have more bells and whistles than most luxury vehicles.
A Platinum Edition dual cab 350 stickering at 78 grand.
I felt as though I was watching a birth.
From a body shop and stamping plant bigger than 3 shopping malls, so robotized and computerized, it builds any or all of the 4 models on the same line at the same time.
They got me in there. I was putting the grill on. I put bed bolts down. I took parts and had them in my hand. I put the badges on the side of the truck.
And Nate Burgess, a 4th-generation buyer, to squelch skeptics who claim Ford's going soft.
This aluminum is stronger than the steel. It far surpasses it, and there's no question that they made the right choice going to aluminum.
With this brand new shift and the launch on top of it, it's just a lot of stuff that was unforeseen until it hit us, head on.
2,500 line workers hired and trained in less than a year, meaning almost half Kentucky Truck's union workforce earns $11 an hour less than so-called legacy workers, 8 years before their wages catch up. But proof
that manufacturing has been revitalized here in Louisville.
Our people know nothing but full speed. We should be spitting these things out as fast as we can go.
Ford announced several weeks ago it would move production of its smaller cars to Mexico. Now on Friday, they confirmed that the company will continue to make cars and SUVs in the United States.
Well, sounds like they're changing with the times and trying to meet the needs and demands that are out there.
Big investment in Kentucky.
Yeah. All right, the time is coming up on 4:46, rolling toward 5 o'clock. Hey, it's great to have you with us here on this Monday on WKYT.
Still ahead, Donald Trump's campaign is pushing back against new allegations on Trump's taxes. That update when we come back on WKYT This Morning. Welcome back into WKYT This Morning. The time now is 4:49 on your Monday. In political news this morning, Donald Trump's campaign is pushing back against new allegations.
Those allegations claim that the New York businessman could have avoided federal taxes for 18 years. Errol Barnett has the latest on the campaign.
It's a perfectly legal application of the tax code, and he would have been a fool not to take advantage of it. He's a genius. I mean, the reality is... Absolute genius.
There's no one who's shown more genius in their way to maneuver around the tax code and to rightfully use the laws to do that.
The Trump campaign pushed back on the New York Times report claiming the billionaire businessman may have paid no federal income taxes for almost 2 decades. The paper cites Trump's tax return from 1995, in which he claimed nearly $916 million in losses after several of his businesses went bankrupt. Trump responded by tweeting, "I know our complex tax laws better than anyone who's ever run for president." His campaign released this statement describing Trump as a highly skilled businessman who has a fiduciary responsibility to pay no more tax than legally required. Neither the candidate nor his campaign denied Trump paid no federal income taxes for certain years. Clinton campaign spokesman Robbie Moore.
We talk about the rigged system out there. Donald Trump embodies that.
On Saturday, Trump continued his week-long assault on Clinton.
Here's a woman
She's supposed to fight all of these different things, and she can't make it 15 feet to her car. Give me a break. Give me a break.
Now, Clinton called it the black vote in North Carolina Sunday as her campaign announced it raised $154 million in September, its best fundraising month yet. Trump is in Virginia and Colorado on Monday. Errol Barnett, CBS News, Washington.
And if you are planning to vote this November but have not registered, the time for that is running out. The deadline for voter registration in Kentucky is coming up on October 11th. The Republican Party of Kentucky has asked a state House candidate to drop out of the race over several controversial images that he posted on social media. House candidate Dan Johnson has recently come under fire for several photos on his Facebook depicting President Obama and the First Lady as monkeys. A letter from the state Republican Party says while Johnson has a First Amendment right to free speech, elected leaders, quote, must hold ourselves and those with whom we serve to a higher standard. Johnson said that the posts were satire and that he would not be dropping out of the race.
Officials say a data recorder recovered from the train that crashed in Hoboken, New Jersey was not functioning on the day of the accident. Last week, a train crashed into a track barrier inside Hoboken Station while arriving at the platform. It injured more than 100 people and left one woman dead. A recorder that would have tracked the speed of that train was sent to the manufacturer facility right here in Kentucky for review. Another recorder at the front of the train is currently buried under the rubble from that crash.
You can start signing up for the second annual Officer Daniel Ellis Memorial 5K. Officer Daniel Ellis died in the line of duty in November of last year. The community helped put together a 5K to raise money for a memorial foundation that his wife created. Last year, more than 1,500 people took part in the 5K.
Well, animal lovers gathered in Floyd County to host a carnival for local kids. It happened at the First Church of God in Prestonsburg. The event featured games and furry friends for kids to play with. Activists brought out their rescue pets for the community to interact with as well. Organizers say the event is to raise awareness of abused animals and local pet adoption.
There are snakes, there are hairless rats, there are all kinds of animals that have already lived a life of cruelty, that have been abused, and it's over with. We need to show a positive image, and that's what this is.
Organizers say they encourage anyone looking for a pet to visit local animal shelters and humane societies.
Interesting variety there, it sounds like.
Hairless rats.
Snakes
That's
and hairless
not what I expected
rabbits.
her to say.
All right, interesting. Well, coming up next, we'll have a look at some of the stories our news team is working on for you right now.
And we'll have another look at your Kentucky forecast coming up.
Hey, good morning. Welcome back in WKYT this morning. We're live from Lexington at 4:56 on your Monday.
That's right. We're
Here
going to
we
make it a good one. Now it's time to take a look at some of the stories we're working on for you this morning.
Well, new this morning, Lexington police are investigating a deadly crash that happened overnight on Saron Drive off Man o' War that is near Tates Creek Road. We'll be live at the top of the hour with the latest details. We're trying to get things opened up over there, so we'll see what the traffic impact may be as we head toward the morning rush hour.
And we've also learned new information about a Lexington burglary suspect arrested over the weekend. We also know the suspect, Brandon Roberts, will head to court this morning. Those new details coming up in the next half hour of WKYT this morning.
Keeneland's opening day is later in the week. That's one thing to look forward to, and we're going to have a pretty nice week heading into that.
That's right. Like. Another thing to look forward to is the weather. Let's head over to Micah Harris for an update.
Yeah, the weather looks pretty good all the way throughout the work week, and like they were talking about the Keeneland forecast, as of right now, the kickoff doesn't look bad. Off towards your weekend, there is a small chance of rain. We'll get into that coming up. 57 degrees right now here in Lexington. Not a bad start. Sun and cloud mixed as we go through your day. Pretty pleasant conditions. And towards your afternoon at 73, which is roughly where we should be this time of year. So we are actually around average. We'll get into that. We'll go through your work week, show you these warming temperatures, and if we have any chance of rain anytime soon, for another 2 hours of WKYT News.